Millionaire exiled royal Prince Harry was mocked online Friday after moaning about suffering burnout, and telling everyone to take time away from their jobs to do the inner work on themselves. "Mental fitness is the pinnacle, it's what you're aiming for," the California-based British prince said in an online talk as part of his new gig as Chief Impact Officer of mental health coaching service BetterUp. Harry admitted he had experienced burnout, saying, "I was burning the candle at both ends. That is when you are forced to look inside yourself. The only way that you can really combat it is the inner work," he told his new boss, BetterUp CEO Alexi Robichaux, on their inner work day. The prince now takes around 45 minutes each morning either for workouts, take the dog for a walk, get out in nature, maybe meditate, he said. "I know that I need to meditate every single day," he continued, complaining that self-care is the first thing that drops away when life gets tough. Comment on the Express Carol Malone said, "Will there ever be a day when Prince Harry opens his self-pitying mouth without moaning? Because since he married Meghan and quit Britain, that's all he seems to have done. He's moaned about the media persecuting his mum, he's moaned about the British people claiming we're racists. He's moaned about his father cutting off his money and about the royal family in general claiming they too are racists. He's moaned about losing his police protection, his charities, his titles and his patronages. This week's big moan was about how he suffered from burnout in the past. From what? Partying? And he now has to find white space for himself each day to meditate." Unhappy Harry was speaking at an online event for coaching company BetterUp where he spewed out a load of psychobabble about how he was being schooled by the universe and combating stress with inner work. Some real work might do him more good. "This would be funny if it wasn't so tragic. Harry is one of the world's most pampered men who's never known a moment's financial hardship. In terms of intellect, the fact that he got a D in A-level geography and a B in art, and that's after one of his Eton teachers said she wrote part of his coursework, says it all." Harry, who famously walked away from his role as a senior royal, put the onus on businesses, suggesting that bosses tell their staff, "You know, everyone's gonna have today focusing on themselves." If everybody was doing that, the shift in global consciousness and awareness and self-awareness would be enormous, would be vast, he said, calling it a cycle of connectivity. "Even those without such understanding bosses should also meditate and do the inner work," he said. "The good thing is you can make time, and if you don't have time, then you probably need to make time even more," he told Robichaux. "The world's becoming hotter and hotter, more complicated," he said, adding that having control of your emotions almost feels like a superpower. He said his own coaches helped washing the windscreen and clearing those filters so that you can be able to see your own life and the reality of that life more clearly. "It's a work in progress. Some days are great, some days are really hard," he said, saying he was also being schooled by the universe. Part of the chat was alongside tennis legend Serena Williams, a best friend of Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, who said the prince was actually one of my coaches. "Whenever I see him, he's always solving all my life's problems," she said of her California neighbor. But Williams' rave reviews were not shared by everyone, with many mocking the woke prince online. Prince Harry increasingly sounds like a candidate for the much-missed Transcendental Meditation Party, whose chief policy involved curing traffic jams by encouraging everyone to levitate through the power of thought, tweeted GB News host Colin Brazier. London politician Susan Hall suggested that it proves that the prince lives in his very privileged bubble without any understanding of the real world. Daily Telegraph columnist Nick Timothy also observed that Harry has nothing but me time and he seems permanently and utterly miserable. Royal biographer Angela Levin also shared some of Harry's more out-there remarks, commenting with a simple, "Gosh,